What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with another Dead in Hip Hop solo album review, and today I'm talking about the newest album from Sadistik entitled Haunted Gardens. Haunted Gardens is Sadistik's sixth album, and it's definitely one of my highly anticipated albums of the year. Y'all know how much I loved his last album, Alters, and I've spoken many times about how highly I hold him as a lyricist and a songwriter, so I was super stoked to check this out. The album starts with the song All My Poisons Sit in Frames, a very mellow and airy beat with a sample that almost sounds like a broken music box. And I really like the way the producer Shrimp Nose, who I'm not familiar with, I like the way he mixed the song with the scratchy vinyl sound of a needle going along the grooves of a record. And Sadistik sounds great over this beat. He almost sounds like he's underwater. You know, this kind of drowned out sound works great with the really airy beat, and the song seems to basically be a reference to feeling hopeless about life. You know, everything that exists comes to an end. Things in nature, people, ourselves, you know, and then the way this rolls right into Eden is absolutely brilliant. The beats feel like they were made to fit into each other like a puzzle piece. Even that scratchy vinyl sound turns into this dull hiss that rests over the beat the whole time, and it works really well. And Sadistik's rapping on this song is super dope. The basis of the song concerns being lost in your thoughts. You know, the Garden of Eden here really refers to Sadistik's mind. So the song almost seems to be about being lost in your head and trying to figure out where you belong. And one of my favorite lines on this song is, "The weight I wake up to accumulates, all my thoughts are cumulus." This line is fucking brilliant. He's basically talking about how weighty and dense his thoughts and dreams are. You know, they come together when he sleeps and he wakes up to these extremely heavy thoughts. And the cumulus part is what brings this together so incredibly. They say the average weight of a cumulus cloud is over 1,000,000 pounds. So you have this idea of clouds appearing light and fluffy and weightless, but in reality, they're millions of pounds of water. Something you'd never really think about. And the same with dreams being these light and immaterial things, but in reality they have a lot of weight and substance to them due to the content that they hold. Not trying to go in order, but 8.5 is definitely a standout track. I feel like Televangel gave him the perfect beat for this song. It's flowy, it's dark, and it's beautiful. The song seems to be in part about how his depression and anxiety and paranoia affects his relationships. She always sees the best in me, I focus on the worst in her. His significant other always views him positively, but something within his psyche makes him do the opposite. I also felt like this line was great. Our hollow parts are toxic. How'd our heart-to-hearts get arctic? Thought I told you I'm a beast. All I do is die, repeat. Heart-to-hearts turning cold or arctic is a great line. The beast part refers to being a beast, sure, but also the beast is a song from Flowers for My Father, one of his previous albums. And I may have missed this Easter egg had I not been listening to the album last week. The first lines on the song The Beast says, "This song is called The Beast. It's about feeling ugly." So I feel like that's self-explanatory when it comes to the context of this album. And the "all I do is die, repeat" part refers to maybe reinventing himself over and over again, you know, killing off your previous self. What he does on that second verse though is just incredible. The way his flow patterns progress here is sick. And if I went through all of the lines in this verse, I feel like I'd be here all day, but this to me is some of his absolute best writing. Coles is another standout track to me. The beat is great with these kind of tweaked out sounds within the beat, and it's definitely one of those beats that if I heard it without Sadistik on it, I feel like I'd say that it sounds like something that Sadistik would sound perfect over. But I love how he flows over this beat, and this line here is great. Sometimes the truth can be open-ended and rotten fruit can be roses scented. The next song is 16 Chapel, and it's definitely one of my favorite songs on the album. The beat is beautiful. The woman's kind of quiet humming that sneaks into the background of the first verse and then comes together on the hook with her singing, "I want you more than I need you," and then Sadistik comes in and says, "I swear to God I do." That is enough to give you goosebumps. I feel like that whole part came together in such a gorgeous way. And again, the beat matches the content perfectly. The last song from the Gossamer is the perfect closer. The guitar sample with the hollowed out percussion sounds work really well together, and Sadistik sounds incredibly somber here. And once again, amazing lyrics. "Dear depression, you robbed me of my essence, taught me that I'm ugly with autopsies of my efforts." A reflection on how depression can put you in a state of cloudiness where you struggle to really grasp onto anything in life that's tangible, but you keep getting beaten down by doubt and self-hate. And the line about being taught that you're ugly due to the autopsies or failures of your efforts is just amazing. I feel like Sadistik captured the spirit of depression in the most beautiful way. And I feel like this closing line was just perfect. "My corpse is always covered in your fingerprints. I dream I'm in Elysium, but wake up to the same." This idea of sleeping and dreaming that you're in this paradise world or mind state, but then waking up to the same old shit that plagued you before going to sleep. That's some real shit. Overall, I feel like this album is just beautiful. I feel like the production that he used on the album fit the mood perfectly. Sonically, it takes you into this dream world of sadness and depression and self-doubt, self-hate, and it leaves you with this feeling of hopelessness. And it really does an amazing job of telling the listener what it's like to live with these types of thoughts and feelings. And not only that, it gives those of us who live like this someone to look to and gain a feeling of camaraderie with. All the songs are fairly short, so it almost feels like different thoughts or different dreams in each song, coming and going, but still leaving lasting impressions. I could see his delivery on this album being a little off-putting for some people. It's more laid back here, and on first listen, before I really dug into what the album was about, I thought it was a bit odd, but after listening to the album a few times and processing the themes, it really makes sense. His more subdued and muted delivery matches the more melancholic mood of the album. Everything he did here, it seemed to be with a real purpose and a real meaning. Every detail had a reason, every nuance had a point, all the pieces here fit. It may just take you a moment before you realize it. I really don't have anything bad to say about this album. The closest thing that I could possibly give to a critique is a statement of missing the more hype songs that Sadistik does. I really enjoy his more bombastic, kind of trap-ish songs like Salem Witches and Yokai and Perseus, but I also know that those songs would simply not fit on an album like this. Sonically and thematically, they wouldn't really work. I think the beats that he chose for this album match the tone and the mood of the album to a perfect T, and I think everything came together beautifully. You know, this is probably the best that he sounded, and this album definitely has some of his best rapping flow-wise, in my opinion, but this is easily some of his best writing. Hands down, I feel like this is one of the best albums that I've heard this year. I definitely see myself returning to it over and over again. Every time I listen to it, it grows on me more and more, and I find more and more little parts that I didn't notice the previous time that I listened to it. But this is an absolutely amazing listen. If you have not heard it yet, I'll put a link down there where you guys can check it out. If you have heard it, make sure you drop some comments in the comment section down there and let me know what you guys thought of it. And yeah, as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out, boy.